Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Labintom, and I help patients live long and well because I believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. I'm here again with you this beautiful Thursday morning um, to discuss ways that we can improve how well you live and how long you live. And so today we're talking about how to sustain your New Year's resolutions beyond January. Yes, we're in March, but your goals are still valid. Now, before I bring on our guests, I wanted to appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following us even this past 3 years with the lives. Now, if you know anyone who should be watching this with you, tag them on the comment section or forward this video to them. This promises to be a great session to empower you and to encourage you with your health goals, with your life goals that are still very much valid in March of 2024. Now, I would say this, I'm very excited to bring on our guest. She's a repeat guest. She's been with us before, and her name is Dr. Sandra Luyindula. She's amazing. She is she's a physician, obviously. She's also a lifestyle medicine doctor. I'm going to bring her up so she can introduce herself again. Let's see. There we go. Hi, Doc.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome on board.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for
Thank you
having
for
me.
coming on again. I'm so glad to have you on, and so we can maximize our time with you. Could you please introduce yourself, Doc? Who are you, and what do you do?
Yes, yes, yes. I am Dr. Sandra Luyindula. I am known as Dr. L by my beloved patient. I am the founder and CEO of The Well MD, which is a DPC practice right here in Greenville, South Carolina. But I also practice in Georgia, North Carolina, and Indiana. I'm also a co-founder and CEO of a nonprofit called The Well Project. So where our mission is to spread the word of God and be a source to nations. So here we are.
Man, I love what you do. I mean, all of
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, yeah. I like the medicine part, of course. Yes, but I love what you do, advancing the kingdom of God everywhere you
That's
are.
it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, why do you do what you do? I know you're family medicine, your lifestyle medicine boarded. Why do you do what you do?
You know, Dr. Tolu, I believe that medical care should be accessible. Any DPC physician will tell you accessible, affordable, but it should be personalized. So I am a product of an immigrant family. And so that meant I experienced firsthand how healthcare and medical care was not personalized. It was not, they were
Mhm.
discriminated against because maybe they didn't speak the language very well or for any other barriers. Why I do what I do is that so someone like my mother doesn't have to have me on the phone while she
Mm.
is sitting with a physician, right? Um, someone who doesn't understand the language, someone who doesn't get great care, to have accessible and personalized care. And we also do what we do. Like I said earlier, we believe in God, and we believe in funding the kingdom. And so medicine is also a means to ministry, right? So
Yes.
we do
Yes.
medicine so we can do ministry all at the same time. So there are many whys, but um, I want people to have access. I want great care, and I want to do ministry. And
That's
mine
right.
is using
Eminem.
my hands.
Eminem, Ministry in Medicine. I love it.
That's right.
Love it. Eminem. All right.
Eminem. That's
Uh,
right.
all right. So, first question, or my next question is, what are common struggles and for or common reasons people struggle to keep their or maintain their New Year's resolution beyond January? What do you think?
There are so many reasons, right? But we all know that we make New Year resolution goals, and they usually don't happen for multiple reasons. So sometimes one being we make unrealistic goals. So you make this goal that's so unambitious that we know we cannot maintain long term. And so, for example, the most common New Year resolution is weight loss. I want to lose weight. Yeah, great. I want to lose 20 pounds in 1 week. Not so great. And then people will go on a crash diet, for example, That's not sustainable. You can lose the weight, but what happens when you start eating again? So we make unrealistic goals that we cannot sustain. And then another issue is that we lack planning. So we make a goal, but how do we get there? So you have a vision, but do you have a plan to get there? And sometimes we don't. And when we don't have that, we don't attain our goal. And then we don't have accountability. Do you have people around you that will not only support you, but also hold you accountable, so that when you lose motivation or when you fall off the wagon, someone will be right with you to say, hey, let's keep going. We can still do this. Sometimes we don't have that. We make a goal, we keep it to ourselves. It's our little secret. And then you don't have anybody to hold you accountable. So when you fall off, nobody ever knows anyway, because nobody ever knew you had a goal. And then we're not specific enough with some of our goals. We don't have we have vague goals, and the more vague they are, the harder they are for us to stick to. So those are the few that I can share with the audience to say, hey, unrealistic goals, you don't have a plan to attain those goals, you don't have accountability or a support system, and the goals are not specific enough. Those are the very foundation that will make us just not attain them and struggle.
All right, so let's tease that a little bit. I have someone who's watching. Is like, what do you mean? I want to lose 20 pounds. That's what I want. Using that example, how can we make it more realistic? Like, how do you know when your goals are way out there?
Way out there. So I think I don't know if the audience has heard this before, but SMART. You've heard this acronym SMART, and people may wonder, what does that mean? And we use it in many areas. We use it in nutrition. We can use it in medicine as a prescription. You can use it in business. But SMART basically stands for specific, measurable, attainable, or achievable, relevant, and time bound. And so when you make these goals specific, you want it to be, very clear and specific. Don't make a vague goal. So I want to lose weight in 2024. Okay, that's great. How much weight do we want to lose? Okay, I want to lose 5 pounds in 2024. Okay, so we have a specific goal. You want to lose weight. It's measurable. You give me 5 pounds, but you said 2024. That's a long time. So can we make that goal achievable? I want to lose 5 pounds in 2 days. Probably hard, right? So I want to lose 5 pounds in 3 weeks, or maybe in 4 weeks, 6 weeks. And then time bound. So you add the time to that. So now you have a very specific goal. I want to lose weight. I want to lose 5 pounds, and I want to do it in the course of 6 weeks. So now you have just held yourself accountable. Then if you have a partner or someone you can share with and say, hey, I really want to lose weight and I need to exercise 3 times a day for 60 minutes each. 3 times a week. Oh my gosh, 3 times a day. Forgive me. 3 times a week for 60 minutes or for 45 minutes. Now you have an accountability partner that could even go work out with you. And if you don't, and you feel like, oh, I'm tired today, I just don't feel like going, someone is right behind you to say, we got to go. We say we'll do this in 6 weeks, so let's do it. So that's just an example to show you how, and I'm just using weight. Not everyone has a weight, goal, but for those who had weight goals, this is one way to make it specific and measurable and time bound.
I love it. And for those who are watching, you can actually, pick a goal, because some people may be wondering, well, how do I know that 20 pounds is too much? At a time, you can actually Google how to make my goal SMART, so you have clear instructions, or at least a better instruction or idea of what to do for a specific goal. Correct. I want us to talk a little bit on the accountability. Let me tell you, there's something about positive peer pressure. Because I have some people who are watching who are like, well, I don't want people in my business, or what if I don't reach my goal and I have somebody who knew what my goal was? Like, it's even more embarrassing. Can we speak to that a little bit? Like, what is the role of accountability? I'm sure you are also a product of accountability. I am. So can we encourage that person who's like, well, I don't want people in my business, or what if I don't reach the goal? I have people who are watching me and who I told my business, so they're like, well, you said this year you're gonna blah blah blah. What would you say to that?
So one, you have to choose the right people, right? And sometimes we don't, and we all guilty of that. Sometimes you just have the wrong people doing life at times. And so make sure you have the right people around you. I'll give you a plain example. For me, it was in business. One of my goals was in business, right? So I joined an accountability group of other physician doctors who I have to meet. If I'm not there, it's visible. They know I'm not there. And one of them will probably text me and say, are you connected? Are you joining anytime soon? Um, and I could be busy at that time, seriously, or I could have forgotten, but they are there to hold me accountable, to tell me, hey, you had a goal to do XYZ, or but you're not taking steps toward meeting those goals. So I'm here to help push and propel you forward. So even on those days when you don't feel like doing it, even on the days when it's just you want to give up, you have someone to tell you, let's keep going, keep pushing forward. Accountability is not always encouraging you. Sometimes it's sometimes it's not just the positive aspect of it. Sometimes it's that person who will tell you the truth. Sometimes it's that person who will really come to your face and say, no, this is not how you should do it. This is not what you set up to do. So can we get back on track? It's not always someone who will. Sometimes you have to take positive criticism. Sometimes that's an accountability partner that will tell you the truth and not always sugarcoat it, or be positive all the time.
I like how you said someone who would tell you the truth, even when you don't want to hear it. That's
That's
a good
right.
friend, because you can have people, surround yourself with people who will tell you all you want to hear, and
Hmm.
that's not growth. If you're serious about reaching your health goals, you want to improve the quality of life, you want to live better, you want to feel better, you want to do things that you dreamed about.
Yes.
I want to encourage you. This is a big, big, powerful secret she's sharing: the power of positive peer pressure and surrounding
Yes.
yourself with people who will keep you accountable. Um, Now, Doc, my next question is let's talk about feeling like staying motivated. Um,
Mm, mm.
do you have any tips on how to stay motivated, stay committed throughout the year? Like how do you wrap your mind around it? Because some days you just don't feel like it.
Some days I don't feel like it, right? Some days I don't feel like it. But if I can give anyone an advice, is be patient with yourself, right? This is not a race. It's not a competition.
Hmm.
Walk your walk, right? Just because Dr. Tolu is doing this every um, once or twice a week, and I want to keep up with Dr. Tolu, that's not my walk.
Hmm.
That's not my calling. So be patient with yourself. Be forgiving when you slip up. When you fall, get right back up, but forgive yourself. Have that time to look at the reasons why you failed in the first place, and how do you do it? How do we make it better? How do we make sure we avoid the same mistakes that we've made before and improve on whatever it is we need to improve to reach our goals? But truly, realize why you're doing what you're doing to begin with. Be patient with yourself when you fail. Be forgiving when you don't reach a goal. But remember, just because you don't reach that specific goal does not mean you did not do the work that will take you there. Right? Just because I didn't reach it doesn't mean I didn't do the work. So I was diligent enough to continually do the work, although I didn't make that goal, but I was diligent in my plan. And next time I will keep working. So it's a habit. So I'm forming, it's a habit that I'm working on. I'm forming that, even if you don't reach the specific goal.
The becoming, who you become in the process of the attempt, is worth it.
Mm,
Is worth it
hmm,
every time. So be encouraged. Dr. L is dropping some gems here, and I'm trusting that people are encouraged to not give
yes.
up on themselves. Whatever it is you feel like you didn't do it the right time, repent, forgive yourself, forgive others, try again, rinse or repeat.
Yes.
That's it, rinse or
Yes.
repeat. I like
That's
the
right.
grace. Um,
Be graceful. I like that. Have grace on yourself.
have grace, have grace. Now let's talk about how do we get to the point where, of course, we want to be gracious to ourselves, we want to be patient to ourselves. How do we keep ourselves from not abandoning our resolutions altogether? Like, you know what, I setback happens, life happens, there are things
Correct.
sometimes that sometimes derail us from what our plan is for the year. How do we stay not giving up on the resolution altogether?
Positive mindset will play a big role, can significantly support your effort in maintaining your New Year's resolution, right? So how do you keep, and the question may be, how do I keep a positive mindset? Um, Gratitude is one of the biggest things. So each day, what are you grateful for today? Right? Are you focusing on the positive aspect, or are we focusing only on the negative aspect of our plan or our resolution or our I don't really care for the word resolution, but the plans you have for that year.
Mhm.
Um, do you do you focus only on the negative and the failure, or can you find something you can be grateful for? Let's practice some gratitude. um, and when you have progress, do you pause enough to celebrate some of it? And I don't think we do. And I'm guilty of it, because if I have a goal and I have a vision, until I attain it, I'm not celebrating yet,
Hmm.
right? So I'm not celebrating these little steps that I'm taking, because this is just a means. I need to get there. But as you're getting there, can you celebrate along the way and be grateful for the things you are able to do, for the things you're learning, for the communities you getting connected with, for the people you're meeting along the way that then propel you toward that goal? Because sometimes if you're walking alone, it will take you 6 months to get there. But then you meet someone who's been there, who's done that, and it takes you 2 weeks. So pause, celebrate the process, the progress, but also be grateful. Um, and focus on solutions. Sometimes we're so busy focusing on the setbacks and the challenges, but what is the solution then? So I had this problem. How can I solve it? Right. Um, and again, by going back to being gracious and having compassion, self-compassion on yourself, be kind to yourself, um, even when you have setbacks. And then we talked about, surrounding yourself with positive people who will continue to influence you in a positive way. Not everyone is for you. So then just be mindful of who's around you to keep encouraging you. But lastly, what does success look like? Like when you actually get there and you meet that goal and that vision, what does it look like? Can you visualize it? Right? So I think sometimes imagining how we will feel when you reach your goals can have a great positive impact in our lives, because you're anticipating, okay, this is how I will feel when I get there. And then it keeps you committed and focused on some of those goals as well.
I love
I
it.
said a lot, sorry.
You did very powerful. I'm trying to tease it out too. Have a positive mindset. That can be a challenge because our minds do not naturally encourage us. They don't, sadly. It's something that we have to
Sadly.
cultivate. And I like how you talked about the solutions mindset. Like, how do we fix the problem mindset? Because um, we're not saying, oh, let's say there's a fire. Let's just hold hands and be positive that there's no
Positive.
fire. Like, let's just
No.
hold hands and ignore the fire there. It's, oh my goodness, there's a fire. Who do we need to call? What can we do about the situation at hand?
Correct.
It's not a what I call toxic positivity, where you're just positive blindly. And so
Correct.
the solutions mindset is
Correct.
very, very important, so we don't stay in the funk. This was
Correct.
powerful, powerful stuff. I love
Because
it.
that's how you approach obstacles, right? Then you're optimistic, but then when you're facing them, you also build resilience, right? So failures help us build resilience. So it's okay, but let's come up with a solution. And because knowing that we're building resilience.
I agree. I agree. This is good. This is good. This is deep. All right. So I have someone who's watching who is like, okay, I feel um the pressure or the weight of the goal. Now, I know you talked earlier about making sure the goal is realistic, making sure the goal is a smart goal, is realistic, is attainable, is time bound. You talked
Bound,
about the smart,
measurable. Yes, yes.
measurable as well. But what's your advice for those who feel a little overwhelmed or discouraged by the prospect of sustaining their resolutions long term? Like, oh my God, is this my new tough life? Is this the new rigors of life that, like, I just want a soft life? What would you say to that, Doc?
Take a step back. Take a step back. Reevaluate. Right. One, I think even for me this year, it's usually, why do I have the goals that I have? Right? Is it for a purpose? Is it for my purpose, for my walk? Or is it to compete with the Jones? And if it's not for me, then maybe that's not for you. You're putting too much effort in something that you were never called to do, or maybe that is not even your walk to take. But then take one day at a time, just one day at a time. What can I accomplish today? And have I accomplished it? So for me, what that meant, I love checklist. And so I'll make a list of things and I will check it off, and I will check them off in red because I'd like to make sure that I can see that it's checked off. Um, but on the things that I did not check off, it was discouraging. And so then you realize, you know what? Maybe I have too much on my plate for one day. Maybe I will reduce the amount and only do what I can, right? Again, it has to be measurable, but also achievable. I cannot have 20 to do things on my task list while I'm seeing patients during the day. That just set me up for failure. So then readjust, take a step back, and then take it one day at a time. The things you don't accomplish today, let's accomplish it tomorrow. But that does not mean procrastination, though. It just means maybe I overshot my goals and I need to just back it down just a tiny bit. But it does not mean procrastinate because I can do it on Saturday. It just means I need to be more realistic with what I do on a daily basis.
And I love that it's adjustable. Our goals are adjustable.
That's
Don't
it.
feel like if you don't be, and this is a big lesson to me as I'm talking. I feel like, oh gosh, listen, I should go re-listen
I
to
know.
this. They're adjustable. The
Yeah.
goals are adjustable. They can be moved. They can be adjusted. They can be delegated. They can be
Yes.
broken down. They could be maybe lengthen the course. But
Yes.
please, I want to encourage you: don't give up. That's the biggest thing here. Don't give up. And you talked about practicing gratitude. You know, it sounds, it can sound a little too simple to work. But sometimes, as you journal or you write the things you're grateful for, go read a year ago and see how far
Mm,
your mind doesn't tell you the things that you were afraid of and you overcame 5 years ago, 7 years ago. It keeps telling you what's the next thing to be scared of. But when
yeah.
you go back, I've gone to look, on some of my days where I feel discouraged, I go in to look 2 years ago. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm no longer praying about this. I'm no longer worrying about this because it's already settled. That was big. So I wanted to highlight that with this example because what you shared was powerful. Practicing gratitude is very,
Yeah.
very helpful for
Yeah.
maintaining a positive mindset that things are working, Doc. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that.
You're right. Sometimes we don't think about where we came from, right? Sometimes we have a vision for the future, but can you see where you were last year? Like you said, the where how far you've come. And I don't think sometimes we take enough time to do that.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. You heard her. So please practice these things. Now, before we'll soon be wrapping. Oh my goodness, time flies when you're
Yeah.
having fun. Now, how can we incorporate, let's talk self-care practices when it comes to resolution goals. Is there a place for them? Do you have any tips on things to do to help us get um, closer to meeting our goals? What would you say, Doc?
Self-care, I mean, if you have to meet those goals, so if you don't take care of yourselves, then you won't meet those goals, right? And
Appreciate
self-care, yeah, right? Self-care means different things to different people. And uh, just be present first, be in the moment, right? Just be present in whatever it is you're doing. And that's something even I have to work on. Meaning when I go home, I have to be present and my mind keeps running, but I have to be present. So I'm working on that. But Self-care also means for some people, getting a massage, meditation, reading your Bible, reading your word, meditating on that. Having a facial, I've incorporated that in my own routine because I'm talking skincare, and I figured, well,
That's
you
why
know what?
your skin is glowing. Look at you. I was like, you look good.
Well, thank you. And
Let's
so
see.
incorporating that, in uh, my daily regimen, not daily regimen, yes, but the facials is not daily by any means, monthly. And for some people, it's exercise, right? So just take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your tempo, because then you take care of your mind and you're sharper for the next task that you have to accomplish. But take time, carve time out for yourself. And for some of us, it looks like date night. Have you carved out enough time for date night? Do you actually, you say it, but do you make it happen? And when you do make it happen, are you really on a date, or are you still on the business meeting?
Ooh.
Or are you still mommy and daddy?
Ooh.
So make time. And that I'm speaking to myself too. I'm speaking to myself.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna watch this again so I can take notes. Oh Lord help us. Okay. All right. This is good. And she said it, she said, self-care is different for everyone. For me,
Yeah.
it's asking for hugs. Like
Mm,
being intentional about hugs throughout the days, listen to music, it's taking time to laugh at something and not
mm,
laugh in my head, laugh out loud.
out
It's
loud.
spending time with God in place of prayer and meditation. I mean, that's big. So it's different for everyone, but please nurture it. She said something powerful. She said, you need to be there to reach your goals. And so you got to be on the list somewhere every day, something daily to keep you alive, to enjoy and to reach those goals.
Correct.
This has been powerful, and of course we have people in the and thank you for those who are watching. By the way, I have someone say, oh,
Yeah.
you got to come back. So Doc, they asked me, we're going to do this again, so I will send you a link to schedule for a couple of
We'll
months
do
from
it
now.
again.
This is powerful, but I have people who are watching who's like, you know what, I'm not far from where this doctor is. I have friends and family members who could use a doctor like you. Doc, where can people find you?
Oh, yes. You can find me. Again, I'm Dr. L. I'm known as Dr. L. Um, and I am in South Carolina. We run the Well MD, which is a direct primary care practice, but we also see patients in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Indiana. But you can find us though on Facebook. We are the Well MD. On Instagram, we are the Well MD. But on LinkedIn, as my name is listed on your screen, I'm Sandra E. Luyindula. And the website, www.thewell-md.com.
All right, I'm going to put all of this at the bottom of the screen for those of you who are watching live so you can get that information. She's a wealth of information. You can watch her. You can reach out to her as well. She's on all the things, all the wwws.
All the W's.
Yeah. But Doc, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you
Yes.
taking the time out to do this with our viewers. This has been very powerful. God bless you, sis. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. And I'll see you next time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And for all of you who have watched live and replay, I appreciate you doing this. Imagine you reaching your goals, your New Year resolutions, and enjoying the journey to reaching them.
Right.
That is what this life has essentially been about. So be encouraged. It is possible for you. And as always, if you or anyone you know is looking for an awesome, a thorough, and a passionate family physician in the Mansfield, Texas area, even if you're not looking for one, but you know someone who's looking for one,
Yeah.
share me with them. Have a good one, everyone.
Have a
Thanks
good
again,
one.
Doc. This
Thanks.
was good. This was good.